Sonic Adventure was the very first Dreamcast game I'd ever played. It was the summer of 1999, and it was a playable demo at the local Best Buy. I was absolutely blown away. It was such a huge step above anything the PlayStation or N64 could provide. Unfortunately, when 99.99 rolled around, my Best Buy had not received their shipment of Sonic Adventure, and I did not get to play this on the actual launch day. I did acquire it a few days later, and I've absolutely loved the game ever since. Sonic Adventure was the 3D Sonic game Sega fans had been waiting for, after a few half-hearted attempts on the Sega Saturn. For most, Sega and Sonic were finally back. The main action stages are where Sonic truly shines. It harkens back to the days of old, with massive levels, plenty of speed, and a slight emphasis on exploring, and a huge variety of environments to race through. I find Sonic Adventure's level design to be pretty amazing, with just a few stinkers here and there. The Emerald Coast is the classic first level and really sets the tone for the game. It's fairly easy to race along as quickly as you can, is still very easy on the eyes, and is quite frankly, just a lot of fun to play through. That level of quality and fun continues through most of the action stages. Sandwiched between these action stages are the adventure stages. These aren't really stages per se, more like 3 hub worlds that link everything together. On your first playthrough, you sort of wander around hoping to trigger the next cutscene or access the next level. I've played through this game so many times that this isn't really an issue for me anymore. I know right where to go and I don't have to waste any time. However, I can't deny that these could have been designed better, and they slow the pace of the game down. On my first playthrough, I would wander all over the place trying to figure out what the game wanted me to do. There is a little hint but it's more vague than helpful. The game could have done a better job at hinting what to do next, or more obviously, just dropped you into the next cutscene after completing a level. As you play through Sonic's story, you slowly unlock additional characters to play through, including Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose, Gamma, and Big the Cat. All 6 characters have a role in the main plot of Sonic Adventure, and it's fun to see each perspective of the overall story arc. Each character also plays differently, and they have different movesets. Tails plays similar to Sonic, and he has his trademark flying. Knuckles changes things up completely. In his stages, you must search for 3 shards of the Master Emerald. There's a beeping radar system and help orbs to assist you, so it's not too difficult, but it's not really that fun either. Amy Rose is surprisingly fun. She has a hammer attack along with a hammer jump, but moves pretty slow and has a weak regular jump. If Sonic Team wants to try another spin-off, this would be a good starting point. Gamma is one of Eggman's robots that has gone rogue. He has a lock-on attack that adds additional time to the clock. The most infamous is Big the Cat, who goes fishing. He is probably most famous for his annoying voice. Ironically enough, this came out a few months after Star Wars Episode 1, with Jar Jar Binks sharing a similar problem. Over the years, I usually just play through Sonic's story and call it a day. It can be completed in a couple of hours and delivers an incredibly fun experience. However, the other 5 side quests aren't that bad. The way you get new pieces of the story is mostly clever, and it makes it worthwhile to give it a go. The other characters' campaigns aren't as long as Sonic's either, so it's not like you're playing through the same game 6 different times. A common complaint when this game was new was that the controls were a bit sensitive or slippery. 16 years later, I find the controls hold up exceptionally well. The jumping is accurate and it's easy to navigate the levels. The only real flaw is when you are going around turns at top speed. It's not really possible to stay in the middle of the course. You'll be pushed off to the edge. It doesn't harm anything, but you'll miss some rings and it looks sloppy. I think I've gotten most of the typical criticisms out of the way, so let's focus on the things Sonic Adventure does exceptionally well. On a technical level, Sonic Adventure might be the most impressive game released in 1999. Despite the levels being massive, the load times are very reasonable, the textures look sharp, and the character models do an awesome job bringing these 2D characters into 3 dimensions. In all honesty, the only real complaint I have is that Sonic doesn't have fingers. Instead, he has lines painted on his hands. This was updated in later ports of the game, but every time I see it, I cringe a little. The voice acting is of the B-grade variety, with cheesy writing and subpar performances. Still, nothing here is offensive, and the cutscenes are never long enough for it to be a problem. Except Eggman. He sounds great, with the perfect mix of sinister and dopey. What is exceptional is the soundtrack. This was always a hallmark of the original Sonic titles, and Adventure does not disappoint. Each of the 6 characters has their own theme song, with catchy lyrics describing the characters. The in-stage music is simply stunning. After playing through some other 3D platformers like SpongeBob SquarePants and KO the Kangaroo, I forgot how an awesome soundtrack can really add to the overall enjoyment of a game. The music all has a big sound, with awesome compositions that perfectly capture the environment in which they are played. When playing through Ice Cap, the music somehow sounds like ice, until you are racing down the mountain being chased by an avalanche, in which the music created sounds exactly like you are being chased by an avalanche. Another one is Red Mountain. Every time I enter this section of the level and this hip-hop style beat comes on, I smile. It expertly captures the essence of what it's probably like being in a volcano. When you combine the awesome graphics and sound with good controls and divine level design, you get one of the greatest 3D platformers ever created. Sonic Adventure isn't perfect. The adventure stages and the ridiculous story often just get in the way, and many times do nothing more than delay your enjoyment of getting on with the next level. I feel Sonic Adventure has aged really well. Playing the original version here on real Dreamcast hardware, the game still looks gorgeous. The art style and direction are timeless. This game is timeless. When I began writing this script, I had already decided this game would get a 4 out of 5. But now that I've reached the end of the script, I've come to realize I've had more fun playing Sonic Adventure than just about any other game ever created. It's a masterpiece. 5 out of 5.